Hey guys, time for another book review. This time we're reviewing Mindhunter by John Douglas and Mark Olshaker. I'm sure, like a lot of other people, I'm interested in true crime. I don't want to say a fan of true crime because the subject matter of true crime, like, that's a whole nother discussion, but I don't want to get into, like, the bad stuff of that. But I was one of the people who kind of binged the Mindhunter show in about 1 or 2 days on Netflix. It was really super good, and I didn't know that it was based on a book until I think I came across it in the credits or something, or I read it somewhere on the internet, and I was like, oh my god, I've got to read this book. It is subtitled Inside the FBI's Elite Serial Crime Unit. I found this book to be very informative. Not only does it talks about the history of the serial crime unit, and kind of like that's, what the the Netflix show was about too. And, yes, all those events from the Mindhunter Season 1 are in this book. But it was such a small portion of the book that I could easily see them doing, like, a Season 2 or Season 3 based on the material from this book. Like I said, I found it very informative, like, how they decided to come up with profiles for serial killers and different things. Like, they actually went into prisons, and it was like, groundbreaking stuff that John Douglas did. So I found that really interesting. I mean, there were some boring parts, like when he's talking about his past and basically being a loser and how he was, like how he was in school and everything, which I was kind of surprised because I didn't think the FBI typically took people like that. I thought you had to be like, really super buttoned up, America's Boy Scout. But yeah, and I did find some of those times when he was talking about his past, I found his, when he talked about himself, I found it to be a little cocky, which I didn't really like. The ending was it just seemed kind of, not necessary, because he's talking about like really personal things involved in his life, and I kind of get that because I think he's like, he wants people to know about his life and how this job has affected his life, but I didn't really feel it was necessary for the book, and kind of wasn't interested in reading that kind of stuff. But overall, this was a very, very good book. If you are someone who's interested in true crime, you're interested in learning how they figure out, like, who done it. Some of these things you never would have, it's like analytical, and they're talking about how you cannot write a computer program to, like, figure this stuff out, because you have to be intuitive. And you kind of have to, like, go over the crime scene and all the different things that have happened. There's a lot that goes into it. A lot that a lot of people don't really think about. So that's why I really enjoyed this book. I mean, there's not too much I can say about it. I mean, I don't want to spoil it. But one of the interesting things I noticed, this was published in 1995. And don't quote me on this, but like the author acts like the BTK killer had not been captured by that time. And I don't know exactly when BTK was finally captured, but it must have been later, because he acts like at the time of writing this book he was still on loose. There was some chapter called The Dragon Wins or something like that. And he was talking about different cases that were still kind of ongoing that they hadn't solved, and I think Green River Killer was another one of them. So yeah, I mean, it has like a lot of those kind of things, and he kind of briefly mentions Charles Manson and stuff like that. Really, really super interesting. Like I said, if you are a true crime fan, I did rate this 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It's very much worth picking up. especially if you like the Mindhunter series on Netflix, you definitely got to read this. And I feel like I'm really late to the party because a lot of my friends on Goodreads had already read this. And I was like, wow, I'm kind of really late to the party here on this one. But it is what it is. As always, I will have a copy of a link for you to purchase a copy of this for yourself if you'd like to check it out. Any and all purchases made through that link really help out my channel since I'm not getting AdSense. I've got the watch time, but I just don't have the subscribers. It is what it is. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, later.